Yeah, boy! Look at him go! Scarbrand, you know what time it is. It's time to please the blood god. We're gonna take a little break from Hashut and bring in the boys that know how to make the noise. Look at them go. So beautiful in their skull armor. Tomb King's at it again, here with LegionHeir. He wants to get some good training with them, and I don't blame him. When I find a faction I like, I'd like to just wear it out. And that's why we're here with Khorne, here with Scarbrand. Here he gets all this bullshit, Ushapti, Skellyman. So yeah, let's get to it. Into the woods we go with Scarbrand and Minotaurs. We'll take the top here with all these Marauders and Chaos Warriors. He's coming down low with Skellymen, Tomb Guards, Spear Skellymen, all that nonsense. Screaming Skulls are going to have no targets for them to shoot. No surprise there. But the top portion, I think he's going to have... We're both going to have a tough time on the top. Summon in some Flesh Hounds because... I want to get into those woods and get into his back line, get rid of those catapults so I can move in with some more elite or foot infantry like Forsaken or Bloodletters if I need to. Speed things up here because this is a long map. Oh, goody. And I see some Skelly Horsemen. Hello, Skelly Horsemen. You look like you could die. And Skelly Horsemen, although do not have blood, they do have skulls, and we need skulls for that skull throne. We're gonna take them. Oh man, brought the Slaughter and Carnage. I normally don't take Slaughter and Carnage. I usually don't find it too useful. But that's because I usually have Scarbrand set up to snipe out Lords with the Rampage ability. Both for him and the enemy. I don't remember what they're called. Sending the dogs to disrupt catapults, having forced my opponent to summon in units that won't necessarily get their value once I start running. Ah, shit. Ushapti on the low ground trying to shoot into the woods. They're going to have a hard time getting into Scarbrand with all that dense cover. But once I come out of the woods, it's going to be good. Oh man, those catapults already crumbled. Damn. No surprise. Legion, you gotta protect your stuff, man. Points are important, but you can't just leave things unintended. Ugh. Sorry, I just had some chimichangas and they're all coming back up. Ooh, spicy. I see some lone Skelly Warriors who want to get chopped down to Chinatown. Damn. Kicked in the rear. And Scarbrand's about to have a field day. Oh, more Flesh Hounds. Minotaurs, this is gonna be good. Oh, this is gonna be too good. Skelly Spearmen coming in. All these large units are about to get devoured. I say screw it, let the Flesh Hounds suffer. These boys aren't gonna last. I believe we provided healing for those Skelly men, but I think it's a little too late for that. Scarbrand, oh, he's about to do the smackdown. He's about to stomp out the haters. Look at him, stomping out the haters. Heal all you want. Scarbrand's here to stomp. But yeah, I like the Slaughter and Carnage because the simple ability to increase his damage over time by killing out weak chaff units with Scarbrand and then just coming in to snipe out Lords. The problem is, they gotta be the right units. You can't just sit there. I mean, even not just Lords, other infantry. I like to think of Scarbrand as another unit of Minotaurs. You just gotta be careful how you use them. And it makes sense. Sorry about that. Makes sense as Scarbrand is one big target. His Lord going up on the high ground, trying to help out that line because they are suffering, as they should be. Bringing in reinforcements, more Chaos Warriors with halberds, just in case he brings in some more big boys. Oh man, those chimichangas really went in. Sorry, folks. Ugh. All this talk of Scarbrand, though. Chimichangas get me all excited. Get 'em, boys! I see some good targets. Scarbrand's gonna make it work. I should have brought some Minotaurs, some anti-infantry Minotaurs, honestly. I brought all great weapons because, well, Khorne struggles with large targets, honestly. Minotaurs are only decent answer. Skull Crushers are pretty mediocre. Skull Crushers are only good at taking out infantry-sized. They're not infantry. Cav units. Heavy cav units. Because they're just too slow to really deal with light cav. They can do alright against infantry, I guess. They're, but what you want to buy, they're just so expensive, though. I remember Minotaurs at, what, 1,500? No one would buy them because they were too damn expensive. Once I got down to 13, they were finally usable. And now they nerfed them, so... I don't know. The nerfs for Minotaurs, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. Honestly, I think Skull Crusher should have got a freaking, buff to their price. At least 1,600. Minotaurs getting a nerf to their melee attack, melee defense. I can understand melee attack. Melee defense, though, not so much. Because the blood gore, whatever the ability is that Minotaurs have, it does stack over even after the unit dies, so that makes sense, and that I'm okay with. That just means their initial charges, their initial fights aren't going to be as good, but over time they'll snowball. They're just going to take a longer time to snowball. But the melee defense, I feel like that was a bit unnecessary. It was nice to have a unit, you know, you could bring in that would actually last. And get some results while they're at it. I mean, our only good units are the ones you see here. Fleshhounds and Minotaurs that can actually kill things, besides Scarbrand. Other than that, everything else is pretty niche. You have to pick and choose the right unit. Whereas a unit that could just, I wouldn't say broadly take over. Because Minotaurs, they have so much of a job to do. They have to take out pretty much all the large units. Even cav units that are faster than them, that skirmish them out. And it just sucks. Because Skull Crushers can't fulfill that role since they're not that much faster. They're only 12 points faster than, or yeah, I think they're only 6 points faster than the Minotaurs. Minotaurs have what, 54, 56? Yeah, Minotaurs, yeah, 54. No, this is you, Shopty. Come on, choose the Minotaur so I can see this. Hold on. Yep, Shopty at 54. Yeah, Minotaurs must be 56 then. No, I think they're both 54. Nope. Choose the goddamn Minotaurs! Ah! Alright, we'll find out in a second, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick them out. As they just chop their way down. Yeah, 56. They have 56 speed, so yeah. So they have 6 less than the Skull Crushers. Skull Crushers, although, have copper shields, 130 armor, anti-large, and a nice charge, too. 1,700 is still a... I still would rather pick Knights of the Brazen Throne over Skull Crushers. Because Knights of the Brazen Thrones are just bastards. They will chew through everything that's infantry size, and that's a good portion of most armies. Skull Crushers, on the other hand, because of their speed, they're very defensive. They don't want to really go into infantry and take unnecessary losses. They can't really catch most heavy cav units because they're at like 78 or 70. But I don't know. Skull Crushers, I guess, are just good countercharge units, but they're so expensive. The damage would already be done, so you can't really countercharge. It's this weird... Yeah, it's just weird. Better off taking, say, Chaos Knights. At that point, Chaos Knights can deal with light cav. They can deal with even medium armored units. Light infantry. Typical flying carrion units that come in. And they have solid charge at, I think, 40-something. 47. I know the Lance variant has, like, what, 50, 80, something like that. Pretty insane. So, yeah. That's my gripe, as everyone seems to know me as the Khorne man. The Khorne. It makes sense, being Mexican. I love me some corn. But yeah. overall, yeah. And it makes me think, too, like, there are certain units within the other Monogog factions that are more expensive, that are different variations of the same unit. Like, take Forsaken, for the example. Forsaken are 850. I think the other two, between Nurgle and... Not Nurgle. Between Khorne and Slaanesh, their variant of the Forsaken are like 800. Nurgle's is 850, and Tzeentch, I think, is 850. So... I think they could do that with some of the Chaos Knights, too, because have you seen Slaanesh Chaos Knights? Those things are insane. They got Flanker, they got Physical Resistance, Shields, their speed's, I think, at 75, whereas the rest are, like, 70. I think Nurgle's is back up to 70 after the buff. So, yeah. That's pretty disgusting. Especially when you consider the Lance variant just comes in and then BAM! Hits you like a Mack truck. Oh, it's actually terrifying to think about. But the Khorne variant has immune psychology. You know, the Marka Khorne has the Fury effect, which isn't too bad. Gives them melee attack, hits like a truck, armor piercing, base damage increase, all that good stuff. But I don't know, that flanker just scares me. Especially when they're all the same armor. Well, no, because their Khorne's units have 10 more armor than the other variants. That's how it works, right? Khorne's is basically, it has the Fury, lower melee defense, higher melee attack, and a bit more armor. I believe that's how that is. And I enjoy it. Get 'em, boys, get 'em. But yeah. I don't like to see nerfs to my favorite faction, but then again, I don't think anyone does. I don't know. Minotaurs, but I mean, I say that, but look at it. 58 melee attack, 31 melee defense, 47 charge bonus, 130. I mean, these guys are bastards. You just keep cycling in Minotaurs and you pretty much win the game. But what other choice do you have? What other units can perform as well for their role? I think they should have actually... If you're going to debuff Minotaurs, you should have buffed up the other units, too. Or, if you're going to nerf Minotaurs, you should have buffed up the other units. Units that should have gotten a buff. That's a good question, though. Marauders, I think. They're only sitting here taking damage. They don't really win from that many fights, if at all. Like, against these Skelly men, they're hardly winning. Even the Chaos Warriors are having a hard time. And it's not like the skeletons are very well armored. What, 30? 20, some of them? Skull Crushers could have used a buff. Definitely. Probably cost reduction. I said that before. Sorry for being redundant. I'm gonna keep saying it. What else? The Lords definitely need a bit of a buff. Probably a price decrease for like Scarbrand and Bloodthirsters. I think that should be for most of the Monogod faction Demon Lord. So damn expensive. Especially the Legendary Lords. No one, besides Kugath, sometimes I see Nakari. Sometimes I see Scarbrand. I never see, what's his name? Damn, that's slipping. It's always this one. Kairos, there we go. Kairos, I never see. I think I saw him once in a friendly game, though. I haven't seen him in the ladder. I never see Tzeentch in the ladder anymore, which is a shame. Tzeentch needs a freaking buff, that's for sure. Poor bastards. Yeah, some of their units lacking, even with air superiority, which kind of sucks. But yeah. Back to the Khorne dilemma. I think the Halberds could use a buff. They're too slow, they don't do as much damage, and they're lasting, that's for sure, but I don't know. Is that worth it against where most of these factions have so many burst and swarm tactics? It's hard to really keep up with how expensive things are. Especially if you can't burst them down. Fleshhounds are perfectly fine where they're at. Same with Marauder Horsemen. I was thinking too, we could use a unit to counter, if they don't buff Skull Crushers, to hit fast heavily armored cav units. They're just AP. They're like flying units. They're like upgraded Furies, which be flying probably like 60, 80 models, tier 2 unit, have at least a 90 speed, so they're not as fast as Furies. They can catch up to those heavily armored units. AP damage, probably like 20, 30, somewhere in between there. Low melee attack, high melee attack, low melee defense. To keep up with the Khorne thing and just hit those bastards. Because that's all we need. Something fast. Something like an Exalted Bloodthirster. In terms of speed. So they can catch those units and actually fight them in the backline. Because Furies are great, but they don't deal with the heavy units. They're fast. Like Cathay, they struggle with. Unless you're hitting peasant archers and what are those? Peasant horsemen and artillery, really. They can chew through artillery real nice. I have a video where they just tear through artillery in seconds. So yeah, but the problem is the rest of the army, they're pretty much useless. They have their job, which isn't bad. But against, say, what are those? Jade Horsemen. Besides Minotaurs, Halberds are only really good defense. To actually fight them off, really Minotaurs are all we got. Skull Crushers, yeah, but too expensive, honestly. And they don't really last as long as we need to. Yeah, can't really think of anything else. Yeah, it's just those two. That's all we have for Cav. Minotaurs are too. That's my thing. When I fight Kislev, I hate bringing Minotaurs because I know I'm gonna fight War Sleds. So it's another thing like that. That or Empire. It's just those stupid war wagons. It's the most boring thing to try to catch them up and push them all the way back into their spawn just so I could fight them and get rid of them. And it's not only boring to watch, but it's boring to do because it's like, we know where this is going. Just stop. Just stop. You're not gonna... This isn't gonna work the way you think it is. You're gonna keep shooting, I'm gonna keep dodging. And it's even on a map like this where I can go in the woods and hide them quite well so they don't get hit by cannon fire or all the other bullshit. And just murder. I've done it to Cathay on this map. Quite well, actually. But yeah, I've enjoyed this game so far. Scarbrand, no! But yeah, we're coming to the conclusion. Looks like it's dying down, and the game should be over now. Now! End it! Come on! Even though LegionHeir was close to coming back to it, man, I held on long enough, thank goodness.
I knew it.
Yep, that'll do it. Let's just look at the value and we'll call it. We'll call it as it is. Alright, Chaos Warriors, I see you. You beat up some Skelly Men quite good. Minotaur's doing good and then not so good. Scarbrand did his work. But yeah, not too bad. Not too good. It's kind of okay. Yeah, I hope you guys like that. Like and subscribe. Help me keep making these by watching these, liking these, sharing these with your grandma, grandpa, dog, and cat. Who knows? With that said, hope you have a good day. Peace. Goodbye for now. Dab on the haters. Stomp out the haters.